application of genius thinking to personal and organizational development. He works with visionary leaders to support them in nurturing more innovative and human-centered cultures. He is the author of 17 books, including How to Think Like Leonardo da Vinci. Michael's books have been translated into 25 languages and have sold more than 1 million copies. You are a creative expert, an expert in creativity. Michael, how do I think like Leonardo da Vinci? This is what all the people want to know.
Well, you can do what I did, which is to go to the place he was born, go to the place he died, walk in his footsteps, contemplate his works of art, interview the world's leading authorities on Da Vinci. Most importantly, read the 7,000 pages of his notebooks with this question in mind: what is he trying to teach us? Because he's giving specific advice. Or you can just read the book in which I put all
Or it's quite a lot of work you put into that book, and I'm actually jealous. His notebooks, when you described his notebooks, it sounds I'm not saying anywhere near that I am anywhere close to Leonardo da Vinci, but we keep the same kinds of notebooks where it's ideas and lists, and I keep the hard copy, and it's all kinds of things, designs for t-shirts, whatever. And I love them because I can open them and it is my life unfolding. I love that it has directions to an audition I had to go to, or it's just so tangible of a moment in my life. And so to be able to study those of Leonardo da Vinci is just beyond anything I can comprehend, because that man, he was, is there anyone who has come close to him ever, in your opinion?
Well, obviously you have.
Oh, clearly.
No, I'm actually serious in the sense that what you just described. So I would just reframe what you said, because what you described is Da Vincian thinking, the keeping of a Da Vincian notebook, which comes to you naturally. You figured it out intuitively, because it's really what the creative brain wants to do. But as you and Jim discussed, we tend to lock that down through, your teacher didn't tell you in school, take notes like that. Mm-hmm. They told you don't daydream, color and write within the lines. So unlearning a lot of what interfered with our natural, you said it. See, here are my notes on your presentation, Jim's and Jerry's, and you can see that they're like yours. And one of the things we teach people how to do is how to systematically rediscover that birthright of Da Vinci and genius, which we're all born with. We're all born with the same 100 billion brain cells, but they didn't come with a manual. So that's why we need World Creativity and Innovation Week, and that's why we need to actually find practices that help us. You said something too. You talked about coming out of rehab and how you hit bottom, and then that gave you a sense of, okay, there's nowhere to go but up from here. Mm-hmm. But something came to me when you said that. I just thought, we're all in rehab. All in rehab. It may not be from a so-called substance addiction, but people are addicted to underestimating their own creative power.
Wow.
And so we're here to rehabilitate your birthright of genius.
I love that. That is actually so true. I see it. I always, somebody asked me the other day, if I had one life mission, what would it be? And it would just be to help people get out of their own way in any small, tiny little way that I can facilitate that, because so much of it is underestimating our abilities. And once you get caught in that loop, the mental loop, and those neural pathways start to form, you really have to do quite a lot of work to get out of those loops, or at least become aware of them, which is 90% of the battle.
Well, it starts with self-awareness.
Mm-hmm.
People realize they have an issue or a problem, or that, people ask the question, they say there must be a better way. There has to be some better. It's what's the first principle for thinking like Leonardo da Vinci? It is curiosità. It's endless curiosity. So you become curious. Maybe you're in a business and you got a 360, or they had you take one of these personality profiles or personality inventories, and you realize that what you think you are and the way you're perceived is different from how other people perceive you. And then there's two kinds of people here. People who say, well, I'm right and this is the way it is and I'm not going to change. And we can't help those people. But then there's people who, the spark is alive and they get curious. So self-awareness is the first stage. Then we can have performance improvement. Then we can have performance breakthrough. But what I'm really after is transformation. And the example I like to use with this is somebody becomes aware that their tie is perceived as hideous by everyone in the workplace. And they thought their tie was great. So self-awareness is, and it can be painful. It's like, oh my God, people don't like my tie. Maybe this is an ugly tie. Okay. So then performance improvement is, I'll change my tie to a nicer tie. Performance breakthrough is, I'll get a wardrobe consultant and get a whole new wardrobe. But transformation is, they develop good taste. So we try to help people through these phases when it comes to overcoming whatever their limiting beliefs are in any aspect of life.
I thought you were going to say transformation is not giving a crap if anyone likes your tie. That's transcendence. It's the next level.
Right, yeah.
What is the difference between creativity and innovation?
Well, they go hand in hand. Jim talked about creativity with small c, creativity with big C. That's not one way of thinking about it. The way I frame it is, creativity is generating new ideas that have subjective value. And those ideas could be expressed musically or in terms of paint, or it just could be a different way, like the wardrobe, the 5-year-old wardrobe creator. So it's generating an idea that has subjective value. Innovation is translating that idea into something that has objective value. And in business, that's measured by sustainable value creation and profit in a competitive environment. So you can't have innovation without creativity. Creativity is necessary, but it's not sufficient. Creativity is essential to innovation. That's why I use Leonardo da Vinci as the supreme avatar for creativity, and Thomas Edison as the ultimate role model for innovation.
And what would they say to one another if they could have a conversation?
Well, so if they met, Da Vinci would probably ask Edison about the nature of light. And Edison would say to Da Vinci, do you want a job?
Tell me about the relationship between humor and creativity.
Well, the aha and the ha-ha are first cousins.
Oh, I love that.
So I love what you said, your 3 key lessons, where it's not what you think it is. Don't take yourself seriously, and it's not about you. So that's almost a guide to thinking about generating humor. So if you can make fun of yourself, laugh at yourself, not take yourself too seriously. And what makes something funny is, they call it incongruity theory, that a humorist takes us down a set path, the setup, and then the punchline changes what we were expecting, and we go, ha, ha, ha. Well, what's creativity? You thought we always had to do it this way. And then somebody comes in with something you just didn't expect that nobody ever thought of before. And we go, aha. And if we look at your brain and we tell you a joke and you get it, we watch the part of your brain that lights up. Then we give you a puzzle to solve. And the moment you solve the puzzle, same part of your brain lights up. So it's the unexpected and the sense of surprise, and suddenly you see things in a new way.
Wow, that's really interesting. Because a puzzle, you would think they know it's coming if they're going to finish a puzzle. It's not a surprise.
But when you don't know, like when you're looking for a crossword word and you don't know what it is, you're in the unknown.
Solving it. Okay.
And that's also why, by the way, the ability to embrace the unknown, to smile like Mona Lisa in the face of uncertainty and change and ambiguity, to keep your sense of humor when things are wacky and crazy, which, let's face it, they are. And then, if you can make other people laugh. So, I've been working in businesses, helping them develop more innovative cultures for many, many years. And I'm aiming to get them out of these stressful, fear-based ways of looking at their challenges, get them out of their tribal, blaming, right and wrong, good and bad way of looking at things, because it just tends not to be creative.
Productive, yeah.
And the truth is, most of my clients over the years have been PhD biochemists and financial analysts, physicians, MBAs, people who are more over serious. And by the way, I've always told them over seriousness is always a warning sign of mediocrity. But what I found is, if I can get them to laugh, and if I can playfully, once I make a connection with them, make fun of them and get them to laugh, that's why I teach them all how to juggle. I've taught 1,000 IBM engineers how to juggle in a big hotel ballroom. And look, here's my branded IBM juggling ball from one of those events. And the coolest thing is, and by the way, how do you learn how to juggle? Well, the way I teach you is you drop the balls on purpose. You don't even think about catching them, because when I first learned how to juggle, saw a fabulous juggler. It was the art form I wanted to learn. And I went up to him, I said, "Can you teach me?" Turns out he was not as good a teacher as he was a juggler, because he said, "Take these 3 balls, throw them up, don't let any of them drop." So I thought, there must be a better way. And I thought, what if we took the task and broke it down and started people with 1 ball, and then took 2 and let them drop, and work with a partner who picks them up for you and puts them in your hands? And what if we then taught you how to throw 3 and let them all drop, and now you have 2 partners picking up the balls for you? And then you throw 3 and catch 1, throw 3, catch 2. And before you know it, the 3 balls have landed in your hands. And I'm telling you, part of my favorite part of my whole career has been when I'm doing these seminars for these business groups, and people shriek in ecstasy because they achieved their first jugulation. Which I explain to them will be a milestone in their career, but then I help them on the path towards multiple jugulation.
It is something to teach people how to juggle. It does something weird to your brain. I could feel it when I was trying to learn.
It's something weird and really wonderful, because it's in one of the classic experiments by Professor Arnie May, reported in the New England Journal of Medicine, that helped to establish the new paradigm of neuroplasticity. The idea that your brain is changeable, flexible, adaptable. That study was done with adults who juggled for 15 minutes a day. And they found, because the technology had finally gotten sophisticated enough, you could see that the group who actually juggled for 15 minutes a day, their brains became more complex, better connected. It's one of the secrets of cultivating that neuroplasticity is learn to juggle.
Wow, I'm gonna have to pick it up again. I want to know what holds you back creatively.
Nothing.
Nothing?
No.
The right answer. Given
Yeah.
your
Sorry. I mean, I was like, are you kidding me?
You
Hold
never
me
know.
back. Hold me back. Nothing holds me back.
Well, even I don't know if there's I guess you could take that as, habits you wish you didn't have or things that are getting in the I think one of the things
Sure.
many people struggle with now is just time management or not being online or or do you just
There's no such thing as time management anymore. There's only managing your energy and managing the energy around you. So and it's important creative shift because clock time, and we all know this because when you're creative, you're out of time. Not oh, I'm out of time, but you're in a timeless zone. So, and I tell my students, I'm leading an ideation session and a new product development session, whatever. And I tell them, I say, so we're going to get into this timeless zone. I say, but we're still going to run the seminar on Newtonian clock time. So there will be a break and you'll be able to make your phone calls and send your emails. So, but this is part of this secret is this ability to be wildly playful, imaginative, let go of all the limits, get into the boundless, and then pause, come back, critique it, think about it very skeptically, challenge it, edit it without taking anything personally, right? And then expand again. And here's, this is a universal process. Like you say, it's not about me. This is not my thing. This is God's thing. This is the universe's thing. This is like Taoism. So you get in that flow of how creativity works, how the mind works when it's optimal. And look, you learn a little bit about that if you study Leonardo da Vinci and read what he actually told his students on how to do that. Then you read Thomas Edison's lab notes and the interviews he did for the press. And he tells in different language, because it's a whole different context and culture and purpose, but he gives the exact same advice. That's kind of, and then you look at the history of the greatest minds who ever lived, and they're pretty much all telling you the same thing.
Yep. This is the great fact. And I mean, these are going so fast, these interviews, but we're going to go past our 5:55 because I have to know who or what inspires you creatively.
The real answer to that question is that I was initially inspired creatively by my own suffering and the suffering of the world. So, I grew up at a time, the last time my hair was this long, the world was this divisive and crazed. and I was saying there has to be a better way. And I thought, it's got to be about finding new solutions. People aren't listening to each other. They're just polarizing. They're not really thinking. I said, what's the nature of genuine thinking? So, first I studied psychology and then I switched to philosophy. And that led me on the proverbial quest for truth, where I went around the world and I met extraordinary masters of different contemplative traditions, the perennial philosophy, and I looked at what they were all teaching. And then I meditated. I went for a 10-month meditation retreat when I was 20 years old. And I had this aha, okay, it's all connected. But then I said, all right, what do I do with this? How do I translate this into something in the marketplace? Because I knew I was not the mountaintop or cave type character. and literally the first thing I did was become a professional juggler. And I worked my way through graduate school. And I learned an important principle is you don't have to have it all figured out. You just follow the flow of the creative energy to the next move, and then be open and allow it to play out, and learn to surf the waves that are coming your way, so you're in harmony with the universe. And then what happened was I started to meet people who were global experts in how to do that. Tony Buzan, Edward de Bono, and I got to spend lots of time with these and other very extraordinary folks. And then I spent virtual time with Leonardo da Vinci and some of the other great geniuses in history, because I said, I'm going to go where they were, look at the world from their point of view, and see what I can do to really bring forth this universal wisdom through the archetype, first of Leonardo, my most inspiring single creative individual, but it's really the quest to overcome my own suffering at the state of the world, and also, of course, the wish to try to make a better world. I never thought of having a job or anything like that. It never even occurred to me. I knew from the beginning. My dad was an oral surgeon for 45 years. My mom was a psychologist working with people in a county mental health. We called them mental and dental. But all they ever did, their only thought was healing and helping the world. So that's what I was always interested in. But I realized in order to do that, I had to start by helping myself, which is what I'm so, you asked what holds me back. It doesn't hold me back. It moves me forward. My own, do I still feel discomfort in the world and pain and suffering? And do I still have my own issues? And of course, and in some ways they're rawer than ever, because even though there's books and seminars and websites and products and everything like that, as you get older, if you're paying any attention at all, the bullshit, you cannot bullshit yourself. Just the ability to do that gets less and less. Like what I say, if you're not humble, you're not paying attention.
Yeah. I think that there's a lot of wisdom in that. And I do find that it is serendipitous, even that I'm talking to you and all of these folks right at this moment, because the path took me into an arena that I never had any interest in, the discourse, as we might call it. And it's not aspirational. The comedy is fun, but can be dark. Punditry, which is a little bit accidentally what I stumbled into, not aspirational, I find. And I've definitely been in that place of how do I transcend this binary and try and find a place back to what I really love, which is storytelling and inspiring people to find their own creative solutions, even just to their own life and their own suffering in their own life. And so I'm just very grateful that we were connected. I'm very grateful for the work you do and put into the world. And I look forward to having a much longer extended conversation on my podcast about all of this and more. And are you presenting during the week? Do you have
I'm doing a couple things. I'm doing something on the 7 principles for thinking like Leonardo, and then we're going to do something for the whole Latin American continent. We've just translated one of my videos into Spanish today, so
fantastic.
I'll be around during the week. And just to say, you are uniquely poised to fulfill the dream that you just articulated. So thank you for sharing that, and I'd be honored to help support you in doing that.
Thank you. Well, I look forward to getting to know you more and more conversations, and I'm looking forward to all of the stuff you have coming. So I wish we had longer, but we're going to keep on rolling. We're out of the timeless and into the time.
Ciao.
Thank you, Michael. Ciao.
Thank you.